Hello and welcome to my first Let's Play. I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy III for the NES. I'm playing on a reproduction cart, the English translation, so I'm using an actual controller. I chose this game largely because it's one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. Now, what should I name my characters? Let's go with... You're gonna be named Joel. You're gonna be Ellie. You're gonna be... Mark. And you're gonna be... Walt. So yeah, this is my first Let's Play, so it'll take a while for me to get into the real swing of things like when to talk, when not to talk, charisma, personal style, and all that. That might take a while. So this fight's always scripted to occur. It's really easy though, mainly because it's the first encounter, everything's gonna drop in one hit. Now, I'm not the greatest at this game. I've only beaten it maybe twice. And there's going to be parts in it that you will see me maybe get quite frustrated, because there is a few difficult parts in this game for the standard player like myself. Speedrunners I've seen play this game, it's ridiculous. Through shenanigans, they get like the first slot up to like level whatever. Through like shenanigans like keeping them dead, item switching, all that crazy stuff. I can't do that, and I'm not gonna do that. Because I feel like I'm just gonna play it how it's intended to be played. Oh, a rock. So in the DS remake of this game, there's a zoom-in feature that lets you identify those hidden items, like those hidden objects that open up pathways. This game doesn't have it, so you sort of have to know where all of them are. If you pay attention to some of the dialogue, they will reveal the location of some. Like in the first main dungeon, someone says, I forget where, but someone will say something about skulls reveal the secret. And sure enough, there is a room with skulls that you have to find the one, I think it's in the top right, that opens up the pathway through to continue on with that dungeon. So I'm just gonna collect that item. I'm gonna save that item. Some people insist on using it on the first boss here. I like holding it onto it for the fight against the first real boss, Jin. I hate that guy. So I'm not sure what kind of party I'm gonna go for once I get access to the first set of jobs. I'm definitely gonna have a warrior. That goes without saying. There's a great sword for the first level for the red mage, but you can sort of bypass it, that first level, by buying a handful of potions and keeping a white mage on your party. I think it's the only Final Fantasy game that I know of that starts the level, like has the first real dungeon just being full of the undead. And you can't get a fire spell until well after the first dungeon. Okay, so that thing there healed me up nicely. My characters are already all level 3. Now I'm just gonna... Oh. Thought I would have had another knife by this point. So I'm going to equip Joel and Ellie with leather shields. And yes, those two names are definitely a reference to The Last of Us. So I do have about 60 or so NES games, and right now my current capture method has to be games that use the standard red, white, and yellow AV cables. So I could probably do an N64 game here or there, maybe if I had one, a PS1. I think the GameCube would work, but I'm not sure how it would translate, just using the device. But we'll see. Okay, this boss here is straightforward. You just mash the A button. And once in a while, if it gets lucky, you'll have to use a potion. But yeah, this fight, a lot of people I've seen will use those two south winds you've gotten to speed up the fight, but honestly, it's not worth it, especially if you know what the first boss is in this game and how its weakness is to ice. I'm tempted to have a team of all black mages just until I beat the giant rat. I hate that boss fight so much. Anyone who's played this game will know exactly what boss fight I'm talking about. It's not the hardest in the game, but to me it's the most frustrating. And there goes Land Turtle. Yeah. I'm fairly neutral when it comes to reproduction cartridges. If it's a game that was officially released here, I'm against it. But for those that just weren't, such as this game, which was never released in North America until the DS remake, I can understand and sort of get behind it. So, also this is probably my favorite version of the Final Fantasy Prelude song. Huzzah! Okay, so I'm gonna save. Now, the thing with battery packs on the Nintendo is it always encourages you to hold the reset button when you're powering off and on. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, it's not necessary, but I find this particular game, or at least this particular cartridge, seems to almost make it necessary. because I have been screwed over in the past while I've turned it off after a long play session. I've had one save slot, and I come back after a day, and it was gone because I didn't hold the reset button. So, after that, I've always had 2 save slots in this game going. So now it's time to decide my initial party. I'm going to make Joel a red wizard. Ellie's going to be the fighter. Mark is going to be a black mage. And Walt, because this is also a reference to Breaking Bad, he's going to be the white wizard. So he's Walter White. Oh, I'm horrible. Okay, so my least favorite aspect of this game is that to change jobs you have to do all this equipping nonsense. Also, you'll notice that there's 2 knives equipped to the fighter. One of my favorite things about this game is it's the first and one of the few Final Fantasy games that let you dual wield an item. Nope, that was a mistake. And I really like that. I mean, one could argue that I lose my defense bonuses, and it's a justifiable concern. I wonder, I've never actually tried it. Can I equip 2 shields? I can. That is amazing. I've never tried that before. So now that I've gone through that shenanigans, I'm gonna save again. Again, keep the 2 slots. In this town here, what's my current gold at? 573. I'm going to actually refiddle my equipment. Take away a knife. Actually, why didn't I just... Yeah. Equip Joel and Ellie with the knives for now. Oh. You know what? You get a leather shield. Also put you 2 in the back row. I'm gonna heal up. Like, this town has an inn, which is just a waste of gold, because in this room, in this building here, you can just go to this fountain and just get everything restored. Like, there's no point in going to the inn. Except for the item store. This game puts all the item stores in the inn. Now, up this way, I don't know how the town folk live with the knowledge that there's werewolves up here. Like, how that hasn't come back and bitten them on the ass, I'll never know. So I typically divide early game the damage between the... I usually have it 1 physical class and 1 magic physical attacker. Until I start getting spells, then I start properly doing it. But at this point in the game, there's no offensive spells. You can buy sleep, but... And then, really? Okay, so the reason I'm fighting these werewolves, or at least being forced to fight the werewolves, in a perfect world I would choose not to fight them, is because this little shack that I'm going up to has a fair amount of good loot in it. On my first time playing through this game, I didn't know it was there, and I really wish I did. Because an antidote, another antidote. This guy, he'll talk about the candlestick. And it's that one. Oh, look! There's a hidden pathway. And in this room, there's 5 treasure chests with pretty decent loot. So now, I can equip this guy with a long sword, and a dagger, and a nice set of leather armor. And you're sticking with the knives, but you also get a nice set of leather armor. And also, a spell. Spells are actually items in this game, and they're not fixed to who you give them to, so I'm going to give it to Walt to start with, mainly because they're the white mage. However, if I go to here and then choose swap, I can give Joel the spells. So now, Joel knows cure, but again I'm going to keep it on Walt for now. And I am approaching the 20-minute mark. I'm going to try to keep these videos around that. Now, the first time I was in here, I was like, what the hell do I do? There's no way out. Then I realized that if I just face north, there's like a thing that's not marked. Now, I'm going to continue risking fighting werewolves here and get a potion. Okay, so just as a precaution, because I have died to these werewolves once or twice. Just had a really unlucky run. Oh, these a-holes. I hate the bees. So, the way leveling up works in this game, there's 2 different levels. There's the character level and the class level. Standard leveling is just the basic experience points. Class level, you level it up by using that class's core skills within combat. So you always want your white mage to be casting a white magic spell, and you always want your black mage casting a black magic spell. And for the black mage, again, because this game decides you can get an ice spell relatively early, and you're still gonna always want to be casting that. But it's useless in the first dungeon until the boss. But you also want the black mage at skill level 10 before you get to the Shrine of Nepto, which is pretty early on in the game. Like in a standard playthrough, this first section, the Kingdom of Sassoon or whatever, takes about an hour, give or take. Pretty sure for people who are much better at this game than I am, even non-speedrunners can probably do it in a fraction of that time. But okay, so the red wizard can actually equip a longsword. Okay, so I'm gonna buy one more. I'm gonna buy another 2 daggers and 2 staves for the white wizard. Gonna come in here. They already have leather equipped. However, oh, I didn't know they could use leather. I always forget that. So, 2 more leather armors and 2 copper rings. And the rings can only be used by wizards, as far as I'm aware. Nah, it just gives them a significant boost in defense. And for wizards, that's a pretty important thing, because they're kinda... yeah, they're not the strongest damage takers. Okay, so... oh, I always forget to do this. Now, you have limited capacity space in this game, so you're always... ooh, should make sure I don't sell that longsword. So you're just going to always want to sell your obsolete equipment. Once or twice, one will come in handy later on down the road, and you might want to hold on to it. Like, I think you can get holy arrows early on in this game. And so, yeah, this is abrupt, but thank you for watching. I'll probably have the next part up within a day or so. Maybe even in the same day. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Be sure to subscribe and hit that like button.